Hello! I am so delighted to introduce to all of you Ryan Chin and Asrar Khan. And so there's chaos. I love it. I love chaos. So this is the session that I've been excited about all day. Remember I told you in the morning that we've got Optimus Ride, the self-driving car people here? Well, they're here. And they are going to talk to you about what they're working on and what... Oh, here they are. How are you all? Hi.
Great.
Okay.
How are you, Donna?
So just so you know, Seth is so jealous that he can't be here right now. Yeah, because he's like, wait, we have self-driving cars? What's going on? This is so exciting and this is so new. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Asrar, for bringing these fine guests to join us today. So because not everyone in the audience may know who you are, do we mind doing a quick round of introductions to Asrar and then our Optimus Ride friends as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, first of all, for the great opportunity to be here. So my name is Asrar, and I'm a senior program manager on the Microsoft for Startups team. And I'll turn it over to Ryan and Albert for a quick intro, and then I'll talk a little bit about the program.
Perfect. That would be great. Oh, your sound, Ryan, is out. Unmute.
Hi, this is Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
I'm a co-founder and the CEO of Optimus Right.
Perfect. Albert, say things.
Co-founder and CTO over here at Optimus Ride.
Awesome. So Microsoft for Startups, for those who don't know, it is the enterprise cloud for startups to help them scale. So these are specifically B2B startups. Asrar is on the team. Do you want to share a little bit about what the team's up to this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So Microsoft for Startups is an equity-free program, and it's designed for seed to Series C B2B startups. Essentially, we have two core pillars of the program to help companies quickly scale. The first pillar is about access to technology, which includes up to 120,000 United States dollars of free Azure cloud, and then also powerful developer tools like Visual Studio and GitHub Enterprise, in addition to Microsoft Power Platform, which I know you really love, Donna, and collaboration tools, which are more important than ever in circumstances where now, like Office 365. Now, we also offer architectural design sessions along with one-on-one consultations with our core engineering product teams. And to top it all off, we also have the enterprise-level technical support that we offer for our startups. But that's not it. The second pillar is then centered around business acceleration and connecting our innovative startups with Fortune 50, 100, 500 customers with a streamlined path to partnership with a startup engagement manager who is really dedicated to help that startup grow and scale. And also, when it comes to the actual program, we have focused programs like a program focused on quantum computing or autonomous driving in this case, and then social entrepreneurship. However, for this specific session, since autonomous vehicles represent a digital transformation that'll enable safer roads, efficient cities, and cleaner environment, it's really unique and comes with its sort of complex set of challenges, if you will. And today, that's the reason we've invited our high-growth startups, Optimus Ride, who are really overcoming these engineering and complex challenges. But more importantly, they're during times like the one we're in right now, they're helping senior communities that are most vulnerable to pandemic with their driverless deliveries. Back over to you, Donna.
So tell us a little bit, Albert, for you. Tell us a little bit about Optimus Ride's mission and what you and Albert set out to do.
Yeah. Thank you. So Optimus Ride is a self-driving vehicle company. We're based in Boston. The founders all come from MIT. We have decades of experience in building fully autonomous technology systems for logistics and passengers. We've developed these systems for geo-fenced environments such as master plan development, city zones, industrial parks, corporate and university campuses, retirement communities, and also smart cities. And we believe we believe very strongly these markets are where self-driving systems can scale globally.
I love that. That is so cool. Asrar, it is awesome that you get to work with these amazing folks. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all. So what are the questions, Asrar, that people always ask you that you would love to ask Ryan and Albert? Because I'm sure there's a lot.
Yeah, really, to begin with, let's talk about where has Optimus Ride deployed its self-driving technology systems in the United States?
Yeah, we've done...
So Ryan, over to you.
Yeah, we've deployed our systems for passengers and deliveries in 4 states and in Washington, D.C. So in Boston, here in the Innovation District in the Seaport, the Brooklyn Navy Yard, which is a 300-acre industrial park in New York City, Paradise Valley Estates, which is a 60-plus life planned community in Fairfield, California, Reston, which is a mixed-use transit-oriented development with Brookfield, the world's largest real estate developer, and then the Yards in Washington, D.C., which is our newest deployment in the nation's capital.
In Washington, D.C., huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Right in the heart.
Wow. So where is the, you're helping the senior citizens, the center. Where is that located?
Yeah, so that's located in Fairfield. In fact, we were planning for, in February, this increased expectation that COVID is going to spread rapidly throughout the world. And we were able to transition expeditiously into work from home with a strong VPN network. We also anticipated the increased demand for logistics and delivery of prepared goods, groceries, medical supplies, as well as packages in general, given the shelter-in-place orders that were spreading across the nation. We already piloted delivery of pharmaceuticals and delivery at deployment sites, so we had experience in augmenting our systems with logistics. We realized that the demand for self-driving systems is going to be higher in a post-COVID world. So during the pandemic, there's an increased need for moving goods, as well as at the same time, many essential industries still require mobility. That list is extremely long. That includes healthcare, first responders, police, fire, etc. So as the outbreak grew worse, we worked with our partners to add logistics as an option and began this transition at Paradise Valley Estates, which is the 60-plus life plan community.
That's right.
The seniors living at Paradise Valley could no longer congregate in the dining hall. So we immediately began delivering meals once those rules were in place. We have delivered 60 to 80 meals per day to this vulnerable population since the outbreak began. And we've been delivering packages such as Amazon, UPS within the community, as logistics companies may only deliver at one point within the perimeter of the property to reduce exposure. We also recently launched a new system with Brookfield in Washington, D.C., with Brookfield, the world's largest real estate developer, in a location called the Yards, which is in Washington, D.C. This is a mixed-use urban development that has a number of tenants, including restaurants and need assistance that basically delivering prepared foods to people that live and work around the Yards.
60 to 80 a day?
Yeah,
Sorry,
so since then...
Not to be random, but wow.
Really impressive.
That is so impressive. Yeah, so you had to pivot so fast.
Yeah, we were prepared to do it. In fact, we think it's a new vertical, really.
Okay. What is a new vertical? Tell us more about this. This is interesting.
Yeah, I think that the new vertical is adding logistics, groceries, and packages, prepared meals. The feedback has been stupendous. In fact, the residents are extremely grateful for the work that our team has done. They're not only practically safer, they feel safer, which is a very important piece of mind to have. We receive thank yous, teddy bears, all sorts of gratitude. And we're also getting great feedback from Brookfield at our launch of our new delivery system, which is happening tomorrow. Many of the tenants, which are restaurant owners, need that support to deliver meals to their customers, and we're a key enabler of that. That
is wild, by the way. This is crazy. I don't think people know your story as much as they should. That's going to change. This is insane. And what a clever use of your tech. When you can't move people around, move the things they need to them. It's such an amazing story. So do you have something to show us? I hear there's talk of a demo.
Yeah, let me tee that up for Albert first.
Yes.
So we are collaborating with Microsoft on a number of key developments. The main goal is to work together on self-driving systems that can scale globally.
Wonderful.
We have been working on it. Optimus Ride works on autonomous technology systems, while Microsoft is a platform provider and has a number of very interesting and complementary technologies. Azure is a good example of that.
That's right.
Working with compute, storage, IoT, resource management, cognitive AI, and other technologies that are globally distributed and highly available and very synergistic with autonomy. So Albert Huang, our CTO, will talk a little bit about our new project, a new product that we've created with Microsoft.
Awesome. Albert, please tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. So one example is we've been creating a voice and natural language interface to our vehicles that we've been calling a virtual ride assistant. And I think we can show you a bit of it soon. But quickly, we've taken some of the cognitive AI technologies from Azure, like the bot framework, Composer, the language understanding service, and integrated into our systems to, I think hopefully you'll see just enhance the overall ride experience. So I think are we able to play that video now?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, I'm catching my ride home now. Did you wash your hands when you got home? Great. The little things make a really big difference to keep everyone healthy. Bye.
Welcome. To get us on our way, scan your ticket. If you need anything, press the support button and let us know how we can help. Now departing.
Hey, honey. Oh yeah, good call. I can stop by and pick up some more masks. Okay, great. Love you.
How can we help?
I'd like to change my destination to the health center, please.
Okay, updating trip to health center. We will arrive in approximately 3 minutes.
Sweet.
Arriving now. Please check the vehicle for all your belongings before exiting. Thank you for riding with Optimus.
Okay, that is wild, first of all. First, that's wild. Second, the fact that I didn't know about this is a problem because that is my failure as an engineer. That is so cool. It is amazing. You should be so proud of yourselves because this is not easy technology. This is not some random app you wrote one weekend and deployed to a bunch of phones. This is, you've taken on hardware, you've taken on software, you've taken on computer vision, you've taken on modeling, you've taken on simulation, you've taken on testing. It's crazy. How big is your company?
Right, thanks. So just to be clear, so that was a prototype, but everything you saw was fully integrated and functioning.
Yeah.
We do have a great team.
Yeah.
I think around about 100 engineers in addition to our operations and the rest of the company. So, in that video, all the voice queries were being handled in real time by Azure services, and the vehicles were being routed through our fleet management systems and driving autonomously. I think we don't have time to go into it now, but we actually have a community session just happening just after this that goes into a lot more depth. So would invite anybody interested. It's called Deploying Voice Assistance for Driverless Vehicles, where some of our engineers are going to be going into depth on kind of how that's piecing together some of the Azure services to integrate into our vehicles. There's actually a lot of other ways that we're excited about using these services. You saw one of them, but there's quite a few others, especially in using these as mediators between passengers and our remote assistance teams, essentially as a way for the AI to enhance the capabilities of the people supervising the entire self-driving fleet.
So there's so much usage of voice. There's so much usage of the bot framework. There's just so much usage of the entire Azure stack end to end. Like Asra, that's super cool, right?
It's absolutely amazing. I think we always talk about customer experience, right? If you think about it, I started with there are so many complex challenges and technical challenges that the team is overcoming. Yeah. At the end of the day, what it all boils down to is that end customer experience. That's as we saw in the video, the UI is just so intuitive, so simple, and so seamless. And the technology is really responsive, where you can change your direction and destination, and the technology adapts to it and gives you an estimated time of arrival. For a passenger who's in the vehicle, that's what really matters, right? So it's great.
It's just setting expectations with the customer so they feel safe and in control when they're not, in fact, controlling their car. That's amazing. I am so impressed by your company, the work you do, and all of the integration you've done with Azure. Our job is to make the platform. Your job is to go make magic happen for customers. And you've done that. This is fantastic. So everyone in the audience, go check out their community session. I think this will be one of the most interesting talks there is right now at Microsoft Build, because how often do you hear how to use voice technology to actually change people's lives like these lovely folks have? So thank you so much for being here today. What is the best way for people to keep in touch with you? I did find your Twitter page.
Yeah, I think the best way to keep in touch with us is to go to Optimus Ride's website.
Yep.
And also at the top of the hour to join the deep dive with our engineers, Jonathan Marston and Peter Nguyen, both leading that charge to develop these technologies. And we'll have a little more information about that. So if you're very interested in the technology and how we architect it, that would be a great time. And then come to our website, of course. We look forward to that. Or come to one of our deployments as well.
Or go to one of their deployments. All right. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be right back.